We have a former sheriff who was the sheriff there for a lot of years, the current mayor who was the former police chief for quite a few years, the current district attorney in that county, and the current presiding circuit judge in that county have all gone on stand and testified for this corrupt judge's character and how good of a person he is. You can't make this up. When I saw this list of character witnesses, I literally thought it was from Babylon Bee. I said, Babylon Bee is now gotten involved in this case and making a funny thing out of it. Right now in Florence, Alabama, a man who once handed down sentences to others is finally facing one himself. Suspended Lauderdale County, Alabama Circuit Court Judge Gil Self, yeah, the same man who sat in that courtroom deciding people's fates, is now sitting in the exact same room as a defendant. And let me tell you something. This ain't some minor ethics issue. This is straight up corruption, plain and simple. This man is facing 16 felony counts, accused of stealing over $140,000 from the people of Lauderdale County. Money meant for court operations, used instead for his personal booze, guns, furniture, travel, and yes, even cat litter. You can't make this up. A sitting judge spending taxpayer money on vacations, alcohol, and cat litter while collecting a $300,000 a year salary to sit at home suspended. That's twice what he allegedly stole. This man's been cashing checks from the same taxpayers he robbed. And it gets worse. He hired his own son, paid him over $51,000, then lied about it under oath. He reimbursed himself for judicial trips that never happened, ski trips, beach vacations, a damn cycling trip with his wife. And when the state's auditors asked questions, he lied again and again. This wasn't a mistake. This was a pattern. He knew what he was doing, and he did it because he thought no one would ever hold him accountable. Sounds like another circuit court judge we've spoken of in the state of Alabama. Special Agent Louis Wilson from the Attorney General's office tore through this man's finances. He found that Self would deposit reimbursements into his own account right before it went negative. One example, and I want y'all to really hear this, with this man's salary, his account had $7.72 in it. $7. Then jumped to $1,500 the next after he reimbursed himself for a fake trip. He even gave himself $100 per diem, 9 straight days while on vacation, calling it a pleasure work trip. When investigators told him that's illegal, he said, I was unaware of this until you told me. Really? A sitting Alabama Circuit Court judge didn't know the law? You are a judge. You're the one who's supposed to know the law, not break it and play dumb. And what's his defense? Oh, I didn't have guidance. I just didn't know. I needed someone to help me along the way. Seriously. I paid it back. No, Judge, that is not the way this works. When you rob a bank and give the money back, you're still a bank robber. When you steal from taxpayers and repay it later, you're still a criminal. He didn't accidentally write those checks to himself. He didn't accidentally fake conferences. He didn't accidentally hire his own kid and lie about it. Every move was calculated. Every lie was meant to protect his throne. Rachel Riddle, Alabama's chief examiner, said it best. No other judge has ever spent this much money like this. No other judge. You know why? Because other judges at least had some moral compass. Gil Self used public money as his personal ATM, and when caught, he hid behind excuses and character witnesses. And we're going to get to those prominent character witnesses. So let's talk about those character witnesses. How in the hell can any prominent member of that community take the stand and defend this man? Seriously. He stole from the same system they claim to believe in. You want to talk about integrity? Where's yours? Backing a man who robbed the very people he was sworn to serve doesn't make you loyal. It makes you complicit. If you stand behind a corrupt judge, you're part of the corruption, hands down. And then this story takes an even darker turn. His defense attorney, Bryce Graham, former Colbert County District Attorney, who just left office a few years ago, retired, suddenly died this week. People inside that courtroom said, I've spoken to some of these witnesses, Graham looked out of it, acting very strange during trial. And everyone knew he had some issues with some stuff, some powder. So while Self's on trial for stealing taxpayer money, his own lawyer, who is the previous Colbert County district attorney, is unraveling in front of the jury. A broken system on full display. And if you're not familiar with that area, Lauderdale County is literally directly north of Colbert County. And as I said, Bryce Graham is the previous district attorney of Colbert County. Colbert County is where the city of Tuscumbia resides. There is literally a petition going around right now to have Hal Houston, the current Colbert County district attorney, removed from office over the August Borden incident. So this is all full circle here. This is just showing you a glimpse of the corruption in that area. And again, we're going to go one by one through these character witnesses of Judge Self, and it will show you even more of how this system is in that area is completely broken and corrupt. So let's go through these character witnesses for this corrupt judge. Rick Singleton, who just so happens to be the former longtime Lauderdale County Sheriff. Ron Tyler, current mayor of the city of Florence and former police chief for the city of Florence. Chris Connolly, the current Lauderdale County district attorney. And Judge Ben Graves, current presiding circuit judge for Lauderdale County. What are we doing? Every single one of these people are pretty prominent figures in that community. We have a former sheriff who was the sheriff there for a lot of years, the current mayor who was the former police chief for quite a few years, the current district attorney in that county, and the current presiding circuit judge in that county have all gone on stand and testified for this corrupt judge's character and how good of a person he is. You can't make this up. When I saw this list of character witnesses, I literally thought it was from Babylon Bee. I said, Babylon Bee is now gotten involved in this case and making a funny thing out of it. I'm not exaggerating. I had to look in a separate place because I thought it was fake. I don't even know what to say other than if you didn't have proof before that this area was very corrupt, now we do. One more time, the former sheriff, the current mayor and former police chief, the current district attorney and current presiding circuit court judge. None of them care that Gil Self stole over $140,000 from taxpayers. None of them. Makes you wonder. They must not see it as a crime. And then, to top it all off, Self's current defense attorney, who is the former Colbert County district attorney, has died suddenly of a heart attack after witnesses say he was acting very erratic during court. It is known that Bryce Graham has struggled with. So, more than likely, I'm not saying this for fact, more than likely, while these character witnesses are testifying, Self's defense attorney is in court. Hi, where's the documentary crew? This would make one hell of a documentary. I mean, I don't even. Wow. Now, if any one of us did what this judge did, we'd already be in jail. No bond, no paycheck, no sympathy. But because he's a judge, he gets a salary and community leaders vouching for him. This is the double standard that destroys public trust. This is why people no longer believe in justice, because the ones in power play by a different rule book. I'm telling you, if you could still trust any of these character witnesses now being in any office, you're crazy. Crazy. Gil Self isn't just a bad judge. He's a crooked king who treated public money like his personal kingdom. And to every politician, prosecutor, or so-called leader standing behind him, your silence speaks louder than your defense. You either stand with the people or you stand with the corruption. And make no mistake, Truth Recon is watching every case, every courthouse, every name that tries to hide behind a title. Because justice does not come from a robe. It comes from the truth. I'm Agent D. Baker, and this is Truth Recon.